Hey guys, so we got some tools from Home Depot, and they were like on sale or something like that. So it's been a while. I haven't done a video on them, so I forgot which ones they were, but we did get them from Home Depot. So let's see what they were. Okay, and we're back. So we got Ames tools. So the first one we have is a wood-handled little tine. It's a 3-pronged tine that we have. This is great for breaking up dirt and for just kind of like quickly making little rows and stuff like that if you wanted to do that and have like flowers and stuff like that really close together. You can just drag this along through the dirt. I specifically wanted a wooden handle because the handles with the little gel grips, like this guy here, which is just a rake, little small rake. These gel grips, if you can see them, they sit on my hand in a funny way, so when I grab or choke up onto the tool, especially when I need some effort, this part rubs on my pinky and it's painful. So I asked my husband to grab the wood one instead of the gel handle because they had both options. So we did that. These are a little dinged up, probably because they were just thrown into a discount bin and then like I threw them in my living room somewhere. So, but yeah, we have the leaf rake and we have the 3-pronged tine. And then we got one more hole digger, and this is great for bulbs and other things in general. It has up to a 4-inch depth on here, so if you needed something dug down 4 inches deep, all you'd have to do is pop it into the soil, you'd push the button, pop it into the soil, and then grab it by letting go, and that'll give you a 4-inch plug, or 3 or 2 or 1 inch, however depth you need, and then that way you can have that size hole. So I do find, because I've used this a handful of times with the one I have currently, the less dirt you have in here, the less likely it is to immediately hold it. So if you want a good grip, you have to like make sure you grab it, otherwise it doesn't hold on to it very well. Also, if the dirt is slightly damp, not like soaking wet, but damp, it works a lot better for a lot of things, ironically. So I've had really good experiences with, you're just gonna bug me, Ames tools. I have a shovel that went missing. I don't know where I put it. I have a tong, or not tongs, tines with the gel grip handle. I have these now. And then what else did we get? I think there's like one other thing that we got, but I've had really good luck with it. Now I have another tool that's not Ames by brand. I think it's Fisker, and it's called a Hori Hori, where it's got like serrations on one side, it's got a flat edge on another. It's kind of like a shovel, but kind of like a weed picker as well, because it's got like a little fork at the end. And I have used that for just about just about everything so far. So what I like to do, especially with like the Hori Hori, and especially with shovels, is once I get my garden bed established, to plant something that doesn't necessarily need a hole, like you can literally just carve a little space out for it, what I'll do is I'll stab it down into the dirt and rock it back and forth one way, and then stab back into it and then rock it back and forth that way, and that kind of creates an X, and you just put your plant in the X. It works great for tomatoes, other various different plants, especially if you only need it like a so far depth. Tomatoes, you want to do that kind of technique when they're smaller, so that way you're getting like up to where you need for the root section. And all of my tomatoes this year so far have been doing really great with that technique. They've gotten pretty decent in size for being out there for about going on a month now. So I did find that in some aspects, like especially with the Hori Hori versus the regular shovel that I have from Ames, that when you're especially trying to get into harder dirt, having that 2 prongs at the end is kind of nice. It's like a little fork, you just stab in there and flick away, and then, you know, the dirt kind of goes away. So different tools have different reasons for them. These types of tools, when I first started doing the hole for my garden, it was a really nice thing because I can just break up a section, move the dirt away. If I dug down to a specific depth but there was a spot that was uneven, I could use this to focus on just that section. I didn't have to worry about like digging too far. So these are really, really nice tools. Now I don't necessarily use, especially like this, so much now that my garden beds are established, and I probably should, to just kind of aerate the soil. Because another thing you can do a few different options. You can have like a traditional dig garden where you dig up the plant and, you know, you put a new one in and stuff like that. Or you can have like a no dig garden where essentially you're digging, in my opinion, you're digging because you have to create a hole in order to put the plant there. But you're not tilling. So when they say no dig garden, I think they more or less mean you don't have to create a hole for it. It's kind of a raised bed scenario, and you don't have to till the dirt. So the word no dig is kind of a loose term in my opinion. So but what I've seen people do is they'll take something similar to this, but it's like little dowels, and they just shove that down in the dirt and they rock it back and forth. And then they go up so many feet or whatever, and they do it again. They dig it down into the dirt and they rock it back and forth. So they create little air holes. And by creating those little air holes, it keeps the air in the dirt, which you can do with this. You just stab it in the dirt and then give it a wiggle, you know, or like move the dirt a little bit. And then that way you're not super disturbing everything. Because the whole point of the no dig concept is to let nature be. But where I see the flaws in that theory, and I could be wrong, someone who knows way more than me can just easily tell me why my theory is wrong, but if you have like mice or bugs or any other variant of creature that burrows, then they essentially create a tunnel disturbing the ground in that area. So I've had what's called a vole, which is basically a field mouse in a sense. This little booger came in and found all the tasty treats in my garden, aka every single plant, and decided to make itself a little house and salad at the same time. So I had to find every little hole that it made and either bury the hole, flood the hole, or disturb the hole to get it to go away. And eventually it took flooding and a smoke bomb, and it finally like didn't come back. So hopefully that's over and said and done with. Now that I've said that, it'll probably show up. But anyways, so yeah, so those are the different things you can do. Like this, I would say it'd be great for like making the holes for plants, not necessarily doing that concept, but this is great for like if you have like a raised bed, or if you have like I do where it's an in-ground bed and you have some like leaves that you just want to clean up real quick, but you don't want to dig out the big rake because it's in the bed itself. You don't want to hurt the plants and stuff like that. This is a great way to kind of just reach those leaves that you may not be able to reach with your hands, or you have plants like I do that have thorns and, well, they hurt. So you're going to use a tool to reach the leaves instead of get your hands stuck by thorns. So those are basically the 3 tools that I use alongside with my hori hori and a regular hand trowel or hand shovel, if you will, on top of things like this guy here. I don't know if you can see him, which is also a Fisker brand, not an Ames, and stuff like that. So every tool has its purpose, but for me, these are the tools that work best for me. So if you guys have any tools that you guys have tried, or if you have any techniques that you want to share, I'm always open to hear what you do and what works for you. So go ahead and share those thoughts down below, and maybe we can help each other out. Well, it's been super fun. Hopefully we have learned some new information here, and I hope you guys could like, comment, or subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video. But for now, bye!